All right. Next topic. Let me see. I got so many up here. All right. So obviously, some of us are married, right? Some of us on our way to being so. You sign a contract, right? That contract has a bunch of different stipulations, and then one of the most important things is like mortality, right? I think some of people's biggest fear is death and public speaking, right? And if you're on your deathbed or you're in a coma, unless your will says otherwise, your person that you're married to makes that decision, right? You guys know that, right? So, with that being said, just as an example, I tried to phrase it more diplomatically, but do you have ownership over your significant other? In a conversation, I'll just say, do you do you own your husband or wife? But do you why she laugh so
No,
hard?
this funny because this man tell me all the time, I own you. You about to go through it, like I own you. Like he owns you.
Hey, she know my last name, but
He
she
like,
on me, bro. She all
Shit like
me,
that.
man.
Shit
She
like
knows
that.
me.
Shit like that.
Yeah. Hey, listen, my babe know what say. Hey, listen, you own me, I own you. So guess what? We working on this shit together, though. We going all in.
All right. Well, hold on. Y'all go last. Y'all went first last time. All right. Q&A. What y'all think?
Good.
I'm gonna say no.
Good answer.
No, but
Oh,
let me
man.
land though. The reason that I say no is because I feel like throughout the entire relationship, marriage, what have you, you are an individual. You know what I mean? Like not in the sense of, oh, morally you lose everything that you know. So, oh, you're your own person. You can go fuck other people. You can go live in this way. You can do all these things. I don't think in that aspect. But at the end of the day, you are still an individual. I don't have no ownership over nobody. Don't nobody have ownership over me. That's just my opinion.
Agreed. She don't own me and I don't own her. You're your own person. I'm my own person. That's it. You have a part of me, a part of my heart, but you don't own it. And I have a part of yours, right?
Do they own that
This is
part?
exact.
No, we on bar. We borrowing. Only person that owed me is God.
Okay.
You know, I'm always taking it back to the ham.
All right.
But that's
And
it. No, she don't own me, and I don't own her. Basically.
well, it just I don't know what God you talking about because he don't agree, but it's all good.
Whatever.
Okay. I got a question, her follow up, but I'll wait. Sweet B, what you think? Adrian biting his nails.
so I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no. And this is the reason why, right? Because in reality, I can decide, I can make a decision to do something that maybe Adrian doesn't want me to do. I could, right? I have the option to do that. Adrian has the option to do something that maybe I wouldn't want him to do, right? Now, is it beneficial to the relationship to do that? Nah. But could he? Yeah. And so in that sense, that's why I'm saying no, right? Because we can't control one another. I can control what he does. My hope is that he would think about me and consider me when he makes certain decisions and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start getting into trying to control people, it gets, like I'm here because I want to be here. I do these things because I want to do them because it benefits the relationship. So I'm saying no.
So you feel ownership is synonymous with control?
Wait, you said what?
You feel that ownership is synonymous with control?
It can't be.
Mm-mm. That's not like a real answer. So yeah, anything can be, right? But if you had to stand on it, what you think?
Yes.
Okay. A plus, what you think? You on mute.
You shooting 50%, babe. We'll take it. We'll take it. You know what I'm saying? You 1 for 2 right now. We'll take it. So ownership is not synonymous with control. You know what I'm saying? And so you're mine, ownership wise, meaning I'm responsible for you. Meaning I gave you my name, meaning it's my job to make sure you have everything that you need. It's my job to serve you, my job to protect you, my job to provide for you because you're mine. So I take ownership of you. I don't control you. Yeah, you have free will. Yeah, you can make whatever decision you want to make. But since you have my name, I'm responsible for you. That's how I look at it. So you say,
Okay. Babe, what you think?
I think ownership is synonymous with control. And I think that I agree with Sweepy. I think you can do whatever you want to do. Unfortunately, if I had ownership, I'll be able to control you. And I'm not able to do that. I do think that Adrian's correct. Like, yes, you provide, yes, you do all of these things, but at the same time, we're individuals. Um, and being in a marriage, that doesn't mean that all of a sudden that you own me. We continue to be individuals. And I think we both play a part in making sure we do whatever we need to do for each other, but that doesn't mean that you own me as a person.
Do you own your children?
No, unfortunately.
Do you own your dog?
I guess.
Don't dogs kind of do, and they still need some discipline, need to be reeled back in?
Unfortunately, they can't do for themselves. So they don't have a mind to be able to think or do anything. So, in that point, I would say dogs, I do control, I do have ownership over them.
What
But
about the
kids,
kids though? They need your permission to make a
until,
lot of decisions.
I mean, we're teaching, but at the end of the day, they're individuals. They're going to do what they want to do. I'm hoping my parenting helps them become whatever there is. But as they grow up, less they need me and they continue to be who they are in the world. So I
Kids,
can't. Kids,
kids,
kids, yes, kids from
but
babies to
kids
whatever, they
actually
grow.
can't, but they can't actually do what they want to do, right?
But they have choices to make. And that's why I say unfortunately, I can't own them because I can't control them. I'm hoping to influence their decisions so that they can think about it twice, but they're individuals. I can say one thing to one kid or to both kids, they're both going to probably do something else.
Do
I
you
can't
think that
control it.
ownership means absolution? Because that's what you're speaking of. You're speaking of it's absolutely gonna be whatever you say,
Well,
right? But you're dealing with people.
babe, what is your thoughts?
Well, no, I'm just breaking it down.
I know, but you breaking minds down. I want to know what your thought
So
process is before. I'm like, what
no,
what,
no,
what are you
no,
thinking
no,
over there?
no. That's not how it works. So when you breaking it down, right? You're saying absolutely. If the kid doesn't listen, you don't own them, right? But parents get implicated in truancy. So if kids don't go to school, the parents get implicated. Why is that if they don't have ownership?
I think because we're responsible for them.
But
Ownership
why?
and
Huh?
ownership has a meaning. Look up the meaning of ownership.
That's guardianship, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ownership, because I had to look it up to make sure we on the same page. Ownership is basically what Sharnice and Sweet Bee just said. It's possessing something. What does possession means? It means to control something. That's what Webster's
Possess
dictionary.
means
It
so
doesn't
you
mean
think possession is you think possession hold on here, I got you. You think possession is absolute control?
yes. It's possessing, like when it's like property. Like they're not your property and you are not their property. You are still an individual person.
Now
That's what it sounds like. Sharnice
so
and Sweet Bee.
Yeah, and that's the only reason why I said the difference between like a dog and a kid, because I feel like a dog, it's literally my possession. I literally tried to control them and things of that on
well,
that.
then why do people say my wife or my husband? Should they stop saying that?
I mean, I think that is true. You're still, that doesn't change anything. Just because I don't have complete control over you, that doesn't mean that you're still not mine as a you're still my kids, you're still
See
my
how it goes?
husband.
You see how shit gets shaky.
No, because
So
you say I'm leasing the car, you call it my car. You're financing the car, you say it's my.
that's a lease car.
But no one says my lease car. They say the lease car. They say
So
my car. It's still
and
your
then
car.
and also you're using possessive pronouns, right? Because you mentioned possession.
Mm-hmm.
My is a possessive pronoun.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't use that pronoun if you're saying that you don't possess or own or have ownership over this person.
Well, who said that? You're making up shit on the fly.
What? My is not a possessive pronoun?
No, that you shouldn't use those words. You can absolutely use those words and still feel that you don't own that person. That person doesn't own you.
But it's a possessive pronoun, right? So you're just using the word incorrectly?
There's a lot of things that we say on a day-to-day basis to.
She just looked up the definition and we took it.
Right,
So
but
if we're
when we
being,
speak,
but she's not. But we're being literal, right? Because Nay just literally looked up the definition. So if we're gonna go down that road, which I wasn't even being that plain about it, but if we're gonna go down that road, we got to stay on that road, right? I'm not disagreeing with you, Q, but let's look up the definition and let's run with this. So if we're gonna run with that, we got to stay on using the grammar how it's supposed to be used in.
yeah, but in no
That's all I'm
world
saying.
is everybody gonna stop using the word "my" as it relates to describing something or someone. That's just not gonna happen. You know what the fuck they mean when they say "my wife."
Not really.
Not my piece of property. It translates into it's two different things.
Yeah, it's not your possession.
So my car and my wife have two different meanings. You're saying?
Yeah, because it could be a leased vehicle. You don't own it. You're leasing it. You're borrowing it.
It's the
That sounds
intention
stupid.
behind what it is that you're saying. If when you say "my wife," you feel like she's your possession. Yes, for you, it's the same thing.
Oh, so now you can okay.
I'm just saying.
But you see how you can move that around. But then when we read the definition, it was absolute what Nay read. Okay.
So you're
This is
speaking
what-
to her about what she read in absolute.
Because I'm going up for Sharnice and Sweet B when they were saying control. And I'm like, well, if you look up what ownership means, it means to possess something. And what does possession mean? It means to control something.
And
No,
you
it
looked that one up too, right?
It did. I looked it up. I'll read it directly to you.
Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Mary.
Okay, so whatever, unpopular opinion, call it whatever. But possession and control are not the same thing. To possess something means it's in your care. That doesn't mean that you can make it do what you want. That just means that it's in your care. So that's completely separate from control. Like if you're asking, do you have ownership over your significant other? Absolutely, because like what Adrian said, I still have to take care of you. I still have to care for you. If something happens, that falls on your spouse. You get what I'm saying? Because they have ownership of you. You get what I'm saying? They're the only ones that can do certain things when it comes to you. I don't feel like ownership of your significant other or whoever, it correlates with control at all. Because controlling somebody means I'm making you do this, I'm making you do that. My husband has ownership over me. He cares for me, he provides for me, he gives me whatever I want. But that doesn't mean that he controls me. That doesn't mean, oh, he says this and I jump. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That doesn't. Go ahead.
When she said it to start, I think a lot of people kind of took that in the wrong way. Maybe they made it painted the picture the wrong way when she said, like, I own you, but trust me, I don't physically own her, controlling. You know what I'm saying? Like, as we got married, it's like, okay, as legal documents, I own you, you own me. So if I was to get caught cheating, and obviously we pay fines for that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a business. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all both own such and such. Something do go wrong, then there's legal fines that come in between the shit. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's child support
Alimony,
but
all
again,
that.
it's a business. So I think when he brought up the ownership, I think I looked at it as more of like when she was like, "Hey, he owns me." Trust me, we joke a lot, but it's not that big.
Control. I feel like control is completely different.
Like,
Controlling
no
somebody has nothing to do with ownership. And again, possession. Possession means something is under your care. Something belongs to you. If you looking at, for instance, if I say my MacBook is my prized possession, am I controlling what it does? Technically, I am if I'm on it. But other than that, if the shit had legs to walk away, it could still walk away, but it's in my possession. It still belongs to me, but I'm not controlling what the hell it do.
I had a question. As you both were talking, it made me think about something. Because when you get married, you take his last name. So does he own you now? Are you considered his possession because you've taken on his last name?
By law, I am. Actually, if you change your last name, you realize that even on your driver's license, the first 3 or 4 numbers and the first letter change to match his driver's license exactly.
Oh.
So when you get married, and that's something new that I noticed. I'm like,
preach that talk, Mary. Preach that talk,
I remember,
Mary.
I memorized my driver's license by heart. So when I updated my last name, and I looked at my driver's license, and I know his driver's license number, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, damn, like I really do belong to you.
I ain't never looked at that shit.
Yeah, you look at that shit. They take the letter and the first 3 numbers. So if you saying you married to somebody or somebody saying they married to you could really see that shit if it is correct. It'll match the first 3, the first letter and the first 3 numbers of his driver's license.
Deep. It's real deep.
So
And
by law, you are
by
his.
law, that's ownership. Yes, by law, I do belong to him, but he still can't control me.
I would never try to.
I love it.
Listen, like me and my wife, like everything is like conversation wise, understanding wise, it's always gonna be 50-50. Like there is no such thing as controlling. Man, listen, that sound like it sound like more a bait for an argument if I try to control it. Like I'm not. I ain't got to any argument. No.
I fuck with what you said. I think this goes back to how a question is phrased. So then if I said to everyone, are you responsible for the person that you're with? The answers would align with everything that both Mary and her husband said. Because now the question is rephrased.
You know what the problem is? Niggas is so pussy. You can't say certain words to people no more.
Because they understand the definition.
I don't understand that shit. That shit is so weak to me. Like this world is sick.
Don't know where control comes from. Like control and ownership, I do not correlate the two at all. Like that's not the first thing I thought of when I thought of ownership. I didn't think about somebody controlling me.
I ain't gonna lie.
But it goes to how you understood the question versus how I understood the question versus how my baby understood the question versus how Sweet understood the question versus how Adrian understood the question. Everyone understood that question differently because there was a word in there that has multiple translations.
But
if you're phrasing that as, are you responsible for the person that you're with? Everybody gonna give the same answer.
Yeah, because 2 people just went off of feeling like it was more of a control thing, and I said, okay. But when you both, Mary and Pierre, when you guys were speaking, I said, it sounds like to me that maybe the man has the possession in a sense because of the fact that you are carrying his last name. So now he owns you. If you would look at it, I guess, in a legal sense.
But I feel like basic definition, control doesn't come anywhere. When you read the definition, even when you read the definition, I know from my own brain, but even when you read the definition, control is not mentioned at all.
Right, but when you
I don't know where that I don't know.
But when you think about in the spirit realm, if something is possessed, it is controlled. So that's what I'm saying. Is so many translations for that.
It was because it said the state or act of possession. So then I said, if somebody doesn't understand what possession means, that was why.
Right.
I didn't mean to go off on that. But
somebody being possessed, those are 2 different things. So I feel like under the definition, it says something in regards to possession, something under your possession, not somebody being possessed. But I mean, that's neither here nor there.
Right. It gets convoluted.
Yeah. We all understand it differently.
I think that's kind of semantics a little bit. But yeah, I think that a husband certainly owns his wife for all the reasons P named, right? For all the things you are held accountable for if things fail, for her safety. I mean, all these things is pretty plain, right? And the thing about it is, like, my wife, doesn't matter if she agrees, right? Like, it's still, I'm still held accountable, right? And we still have the same last name, and we still have ownership and possession. And when I say my, I actually mean it, right? I know what my is. My people, my kids, my wife, my car. That's my shit. And you can't just do what you want with it, and nor can those people. So yeah, you can go out and do whatever you want, but like P said, there are repercussions to that, right? They're heavy repercussions too. In North Carolina, hey, you live in North Carolina, right? There's a law. Hold on, let me look. Alienation of affection is a law where in North Carolina, if you break up a marriage, you do have to pay for that. Like literally, they can civilly sue you because they know that's a covenant amongst two people, right? And then when you come between that, you have to pay. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can sue for emotional distress.
Yeah, no, I think you can do that anywhere, but this and specifically in North Carolina, and it could be other places. It literally has a name. Like, matter of fact, it's a football player that played for the Eagles. He was messing with a girl in North Carolina. He got sued because they got divorced, and then he lost.
You could sue the other person involved as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was the outside guy. He got sued by the husband.
Oh, he was the outside guy. Oh, okay, yeah.
It's called alienation of affection. That's the law in North Carolina. That if that happens, you can sue. If like you come and break up somebody's marriage, they can sue you for that, and it's recognized. What do you think about this? What Isha said?
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow. Yeah.
Man, I can't do nothing in North Carolina, y'all.
Listen, you getting that bag, sweetie. Take everybody out.
Final thought on this topic.
Definition matters. Definition matters.
And I own her.
Definition matters.
And I own her.
Yeah, we all have our own definition.
You know what's ill about definition though? Niggas don't know the definition to a lot of words unless they look them up. I noticed that. So like the suffix. So if I say, yo, I'm a racist, people automatically assume that's negative. But the suffix ist means take an interest in or pertaining to, like a pianist or something like that. But people don't even listen to the words they use. They just using them. And then all of a sudden we want to use our smartphone to be smart for once. That shit just don't matter.
Don't come for me. You want to say something, so make sure.
No, I already.
I use my smartphone too, and I just want to say that the thesaurus.com says it's like a synonym for ownership is control. So for people are saying they have no idea where you get ownership and control from, literally the thesaurus says a synonym for ownership is control, along with the other list of words.
Which one?
What is it?
What do you mean?
The one that you use on her smartphone.
Thesaurus you looked up.
Literally thesaurus.
Hey man, listen, I ain't playing that shit.
Don't do it like. Why don't you use the sound effect?
Hey, she's still talking shit in the background too. Listen, when you bring your ass back up here, get in control. You understand?
That boy cold-blooded, boy.
All right, man. Interesting. yo, hey, you notice every time I do that to somebody, they come back on shaking their head. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Do me a favor, hit the like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.